Hey everybody, I just want to talk today a little bit about the nature of love. Love is something that can't be categorized into specificity. It must always be unconditional to truly be love. For instance, when great leaders of compassion talk about loving your enemy, it's not that one should love them because they are your enemy, it's that you should love them in spite of the fact that they are your enemy. Of course, most people realize that. But how do you go about this? How do you see somebody you disagree with so fundamentally? Uh, how do you love them regardless of that fact? And the thing is, it's not even really about them. It's not. It's not that they are so great that you should love them. It's that you are freeing yourself from the bonds of hatred, the bonds of seeing only to the edge of what you consider your territory, and allowing that space beyond to become a part of you in a way that makes you stronger and everybody else that you come in contact with stronger. If you never come into contact with your enemy, it still makes you stronger. But if you do, and you still recognize that space beyond your territory, that is pure strength. That is strength unfettered, unbound by the limitations that an average human has. Now, it's not something that you achieve all at once, and it's not something that you can achieve just by saying it. You have to actually feel it in your heart. You have to be a part of that love and that absence of hate in order for it to really affect you and everybody around you, and your enemy as well. And that doesn't mean that if somebody hits you that you can't hit back. You can still love the person that you hit back without hating them just because you defended yourself. Um, and it doesn't fighting back doesn't require hate. It helps though most people, because most people, in order to fight effectively back against the enemy, whether it be with fists, whether it be with words, whether it be with guns, uh, they require that emotional response that eggs on anger and hate, that negative emotional response to in order to effectively fight back. But there is a much better and much more effective way to respond, in which you can do the exact same things, but it's without hate, and it is with love. You can still, even if you're in war, even if you're fighting back against an enemy with a gun, even if you're trying to kill them, you don't have to hate them. And if you don't hate them, then that gives you the precision and the absence of emotion that it takes to be an effective warrior. Um, Warriors are different than soldiers. Soldiers have a free range of emotions, and that's what I think a soldier is. A warrior really does battle with himself within before he ever strikes out on the outside. And you don't even have to be in war to be a warrior. You can be a janitor. You can be a teacher. It doesn't matter, because a warrior knows that the true fight is within, and then that anything you do on the outside is really secondary. Is really not just a product of the fight, not the fight itself. And that's what a warrior is. And really, love and being a warrior and being with a warrior's mentality have to do with unconditional love, which is what true love is. Um, Someone who is doesn't have the ability to love, and who is without the ability to erase hate from their own minds, from their own thoughts for particular groups, cannot be a true warrior. That's why love and being a warrior go hand in hand, because precision and spiritual stability are what a warrior are. And spiritual stability can only be had if one's emotions are tamed. Hate is a strong emotion. Anger is a strong emotion, but hate is much worse, because it's a road that paves itself within the mind, and it's hard to erase. Think of anger as a dirt road, and hatred is the road that is paved. It starts out as anger, starts out as that dirt road, but then hatred takes a long time to pave, because you go along it over and over and over again with the right tools, with the right ideas, with the right emotions, and it becomes a street in your mind that is hard to get anything to grow on. It's hard for life to spring from it because it is that paved hatred. And that's why love is good for everyone. Because once you start hating somebody, even if you want to stop the war, even if it's literal war, you want to stop a battle, you want to stop war because it's not benefiting anyone. And this is true for not only individuals but nations. It's incredibly hard to get rid of that paved street in your brains. Society has many individuals with the same paved street of hatred. In the United States, it might be hatred for radical Muslims, radical Muslim terrorists, rather. Not just extremely right-wing or conservative Muslims, but the ones who enact terror, who harm people. Now, it's hard for so many in the United States because of that paved hatred, because of that paved road in the head that is hatred, to ever see past radical Islam. But the thing is, it's not about radical Islam. It's about making yourself able to see past someone's direct affiliation. And that helps you. That helps your heart. It frees your heart. And also, the thing about hatred is that it expands. That paved road of hatred in your brain, it grows of its own volition. You might start associating all Arabs with radical Islamic terrorists. You might start associating anybody who is near the Middle East as a possible terrorist. You might start even associating Christians that are Middle Eastern in descent as being terrorists. It just grows and grows, and ignorance is what supplies it with the fuel. Supplies that road with the cement that it needs to pave bigger and bigger parking lots of hatred that extend all the way down the center of our minds until there is very, very little room, very little even incentive to travel along the paths of love, because they haven't been paved with the constant thoughts like hatred is. And that's what most people deal with. That's what most people feel. And that's why we have to be so careful with our minds. And we have to be so accepting that love is the only thing that we should pave the way for. And that goes with the analogy that I've been explaining in the mind. Pave your mind with love, not hatred. Think thoughts that create this road. Do not think thoughts that create the road of hatred. And that's all I have to say about love and hatred for now. But love is, and always should be, unconditional. Unconditional love is the only true love. And the more of us in humanity that have that viewpoint, the more we'll be able to move forward as a species and as a people, because we are all one people. Thanks everybody for watching.